Hey everyone, Pastor Jason here with another edition of TC Talk. My question for you today is, how do you view yourself? Do you view yourself the way you think you are? Or do you view yourself the way God sees you? A lot of times, the way we see ourselves and the way God sees us is completely different. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Christians that deal with this. We look at Gideon. Gideon was a man that God wanted to use to deliver Israel from the Midianites. When an angel of the Lord first appears to Gideon, he calls him mighty warrior. Gideon looks around and is like, you're not talking about me. I'm not a strong person. I'm not a warrior. I'm the least of my tribe, of my clan. There's no way that I can deliver Israel from the Midianites. And yet, if you notice, God didn't say, okay, well, you're right, let me pick someone else. No, the angel of the Lord says, no, it's you. You're going to do great things. God sees us for our potential. God sees what's really deep down inside of us, sees what we are capable of doing. But unfortunately, like Gideon, a lot of Christians deal with the lack of self-confidence. They just don't think that they're the man or the woman for the job, when in reality, God says, I want you. On the other end, we look at someone like Samson, and he dealt with pride. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Christians that deal with pride. Samson was a strong man, and he did a lot of really great stuff, but he became prideful and arrogant. And even though God was his strength, and he was stronger than really anyone else, I mean, he fought a lion just barehanded and killed it. And yet, he was prideful and arrogant. And there's other stories that show a similar fashion with him, that show his pride. And he really not even caring about what's going on. He just does his own thing. Well, God's my strength, so I can do whatever I want. And unfortunately, his pride becomes his downfall. He eventually gets his hair cut, which is the source of his strength. He loses his strength, and the Philistines, his enemies, capture him and use him as a trophy. And at this point, after they gouge his eyes out and he's on parade for the Philistines, he realizes, I've messed up. He realizes that he lost his focus. His focus was solely on himself and not on God. And so fortunately, he prays one last time, says, God, give me strength. And he destroys the temple where there's all these Philistines and everyone dies. A lot of Christians deal with pride. God will humble us if we don't watch out. We must remain humble. We must not look too highly of ourselves. We must remember God is the source of our strength. God is the one that gives us the gifts. And if he gives them to us, and if we let it go to our heads, he can take it away. So as you go throughout this week, think about this again. How do you view yourself? Do you have the self-confidence, but keep a level of humbleness? Because that's really where we need to be. Be confident in who God has made us to be, but remember that God is the one that made us the way we are. We must have that balance. God has called us to love each other, to do our best, and that's what we need to do. So if God's called you to do something, go and know that you got this. Church, we love you, and we can't wait to see you again. We'll see you soon.